What's up, everybody? It is Ebontis, and we have Rivens Wish number 1. Now, I'll cover the rewards that you want to kind of go for with these and why you might want to and stuff like that towards the end of the video, and then we'll mostly kind of cover the Rivens Wish steps as we go for future weeks. But this week we start out with complete a Rift Generator public event in the Strand. Now, in the Strand, it's the little public event that is right here in this little archway. You've probably all seen it. Now, if you want to do it on Heroic, you can actually complete that 3 of 3 step pretty much instantly, because I only did it once. We did it Heroic. And the biggest thing is when you're doing Heroic, you need to defend the middle section. You got to keep it above, I think chat's saying like 80%. And then also partway through the defense, you'll see the big blight balls show up. Usually there's one and then a second one pretty close together. Take those out, and then the third one kind of comes a little later in the defense. If you take out all 3, then with the wizards are going to spawn, taken wizards, right around that main section. Take those out, and then you should go into the taken zone, and you'll be able to finish that thing up Heroic. If you do it Heroic once, you'll be done. So if you don't do it the first time, even the second time, you'll still be faster. Now, the second thing you've got to do is Dreaming City activities. Dreaming City activities do not count patrols. I tested that. Unfortunately, it was 0%. I'm hearing from chat that Blind Well is about 17%. But I also tested just a normal lost sector. Normal lost sector is about 6 to 7%, it seems. I don't know if it's rounding, it might be 6.5. Now, if you do the Devilian Mist and you come over here to the Bay of Drowned Wishes, on normal difficulty, just with an auto rifle and a rocket launcher, you can knock this thing out in a few minutes. It's quick. If you have Strand, there is a faster version. I am over here by Aphelios Rest, and pretty much what you're going to do is you're going to go skip the entire room, go in the back and shoot the boss in the face, and you'll be done in no time. So kind of kicking this thing off like 55 on my recording. Let's see how long this takes to go in and then go out. So here you'll jump up, grapple so you get enough momentum to go. If you can keep your momentum flying along, you'll have Captain right here. And then if you can shoot the boss, I'm just bringing Dragon's Breath in here to cook him down. He'll be dead when it finally explodes. Grab the chest, jump on out, and we'll see how quick we can run it. What did I say? I started running in at about 4:55 on my recording. Right now we're at about 5:35. Let's see. Count it out. And you're just looking for the text in the bottom left-hand corner to show Aphelios Rest before you turn around. And then when it does, usually like when you get close to the opening back here is when it'll do it. Like touch the ground so you see the Strand. Switch that over, give it a couple seconds to make sure you're in there. Come on back in. At that point your grapples probably respawned. Now I have my grenade recharge pretty high, so that might be part of it, but between your running, if you just use the grapple to get up top, you're probably pretty good. Get back in here, same principle. Grapple high enough so you get that momentum to make sure you get up here, because you don't want to miss. That would kind of suck. Come up here. He'll eventually cook, explode, grab the chest. Kill a few guys on the way out for entertainment value. So Blind Well is going to take you longer than 3 minutes, and you can do this in under a minute. So it's not the most fun way to knock this step of the progress out, but it is going to be the fastest, because I tried all 3 lost sectors. Bay of Drowned Wishes, you have the barrier, so you have to kill the guys in the front. It's pretty quick, but I mean, this one's probably just a little quicker. Chamber of Starlight isn't bad either, but running out, running in, kind of similar, but I think this one's just a little bit faster. They all can be pretty quick. Bay of Drowned Wishes, though, like if you don't have Strand, you just come in there with an auto rifle and shoot things and then blow the boss up with a rocket. It's still only going to take you 3 minutes. A full Blind Well heroic run, getting you about 17%, that's probably going to take you a little while, and depending on the class of people that are in there, if they're newbies or veterans or people who are well-equipped or whatever, Blind Well's not as easy as it used to be, so it's just a little beefier. It just takes time. So if you are trying to do this step quickly, my advice is to do exactly what I'm doing, because yeah, now I'm at 53%. So if it's 6 and then 7, if I was at 40 and I did 2 of them, it's like 6.5% per. So if you do 3 lost sectors in 3 minutes, that's probably the fastest way you can knock this out more than anything else. Now, once I finish this, let's talk about whatever step 2 is going to be. All right, so once you've done your public event, again, remember the heroic will kick off 3 of 3, so you'll be done faster, and you've done your Dreaming City activities. Farming the Lost Sector was just fast for me. You return to Marasov, so let's go back to her as I'm in the helm and see if there's any other steps to this thing, or if we just choose our loot. All right, so if we're back here, she will greet you, and she is going to give you a wish token. So you're going to get one of these per week. And the key that I want to talk about now is what to spend these on and what not to spend these on. It's going to be a preference of what type of player you are, so let's talk about it. All right, so after Mara gives you your wish token, now you've got the choice of what to use it on. The thing I'm going to tell you is, I would probably wait to spend it. Now, for certain people, you probably know exactly what it's going to go to. If you're someone who has gone in Last Wish, farmed out every craftable frame, you're also probably the same person who has every exotic for your characters that you need, and if you're one of those who plays this game a ton and is more on the completionist side of thing, then the only things that are really going to be appealing to you are probably the mementos, because you cannot get them anymore. Lost Memento is the blackout one, the Dawning Memento is like the ice-covered one. They're cool, and they're unique, and there's really no other way to get them, so that may be a spend that you are totally fine with because you've done these other two. Now, for me, I'm going to prioritize other things first. I also would not think of these as something you should ever spend these for, because the Ascendant Shard and the Ascendant Alloy can be farmed. These prisms are so easy to farm now, it's not even funny. Alloys, you can get them from Coil. You've got 4 months, farm those. Go to Zur, you can farm these once a week. Really not that many values for him after a while, so probably not the best. Now, I don't know if you can choose one of these. So it's like 2 shards for 1 wish token, not worth the value. If you're a completionist, these probably do actually look good. Now, when you come to exotics, this is where, again, I would tell you to wait. Because, again, you have 4 months. So, depending on if you're going to go for some of the newer exotics, you've got 4 months to spend some time on Neptune. Work on, farming your partitions, doing your Vex incursion zones, looking for the Vex strike force, all of that stuff, you've got months to see what you can get, because at this point, we're all kind of doing a bit of prep mode for Final Shape. And that's going to be your goal, is to see, do you get what you want for Final Shape? Also, and if anyone sees this video and knows for sure one way or the other, the stats on these are awful. Now, my hope would be is this is a random roll and you're just picking Pyrogale gauntlets with a random roll. I'm praying that's all this is. And the stats are just going to be random. And that should be how it is. If for some reason this is a base level stats that is so broken, so if it is broken, and this could be one of those things that, it could be at first, I would really not do this early on. If we get confirmation later, it's a random stat roll, you get towards the end of the season, and you're like, I just cannot get this exotic to drop, or at least the roll I have sucks and I want one more try at it, that's okay. But I would save spending on exotics till, you think you're towards the end of the season, you've exhausted your options, and you're just kind of like, let me use these up and you're good. What I would probably prioritize of these 3 is going to be the Last Wish weapons. Mainly, especially for players who don't get to raid that often, Apex Predator. The main reason I would say Apex Predator is because it is a rocket launcher you can craft with reconstruction. That means it can start with 2 in the chamber. If you're switching over to do other DPS options, say like a fusion rifle with controlled burst, like the Strand one that we've got this season, which I recommend you get, you can pair this with a rocket launcher and get some good damage out of it. You can also get bait and switch. So then if you do fusion rifle, then switch to your primary, and then you come back, then you've got 60 or 35% bonus damage. You've also got Vorpal, Explosive Light, Bipod. I mean, you could mess around with a whole bunch of rocket options, but this is one of the best rockets. So it is definitely one to consider. Supremacy is a very good weapon to consider if you're going for a backup DPS option, like primary here, and then you switch over to this. For a sniper rifle, Supremacy is still one of the best, without a question. Taking Force is pretty good. Your other primaries are going to be okay. Age-Old Bond has some decent perks if you don't have a great Void Auto Rifle, but it also depends on your progress. I mean, if you've farmed the Last Wish raid at all, like I've got 3 of 5 progress there. I've got 4 of 5 progress there. I've got partial progress on these because I did farm this thing a decent amount. I just need to keep doing it. And that's kind of the other pieces. You have 4 months. It will come around at least 2 more times for weeks where you can farm Last Wish. Depends on if you're going to be in town, what you can do. You could work on, running it on a weekly basis with Fireteam Finder, which is probably viable at this point, and you can get yourself some deep sight weapons. So the biggest thing I can tell you right now, unless you are a completionist who has completed this and you have your exotics in a pretty good place and you know you just want the mementos, I would probably tell you to start getting your wish tokens and saving them. See how much you play over the next 4 months. If it's not much, then, you know, before Final Shape kicks off, log in, turn those in, and you're good. If you don't play that much, see how much farming you can do. Try and get some groups together for Last Wish. Spend some time on Neomuna for those newer exotics. And you could probably work on seeing how much progress you make on those. And then again, towards the end of the season in, say, May, then you can go ahead and be like, okay, now I know it's like I've made progress here. I want to use 2 of them here, 1 of them here, and then I'll use the rest on, you know, some random exotics, maybe 1 memento. But if you spend them all now, you don't know how much progress you're going to make over the next 4 months. So honestly, while I would probably say most of mine are going to be spent on Last Wish Resonance because it'll probably be a way if I get done farming and I'm like 4 out of 5 on a few of these that I can finish up some progress, that's where I would likely put them and likely will. I still would say hold them. I don't think the exotic should be a priority right now. You could wait and see if you get anything between now and then, but if you've done everything else, obviously momentums are for you. So this week, honestly, in the grand scheme, pretty easy because all you got to do, and this quest may sit here. You may have Rivens Wishes 1. Next week, we may get 2 because this is step 3 of 3. So we should get a new quest next week. So if you do the Rift Generator public event, do it on Heroic, you'll knock it out. Go farm Aphelios Rest with a grapple, and you'll do that thing in about, I don't know, takes about a minute. So if you do it about 16 times minus your public event, probably do it about 15 times and you're done. Kobak to Marasav, and then this is just going to be sitting in your inventory until you figure out a place to use it. But that's kind of my explanation. In the future weeks, they said, you know, whether it be a Legend Lost Sector or maybe it's going to be a dungeon, I will do guides over those kind of things on a Tuesday basis. But if there's not much until we get into the Light stuff in, say, April, you're going to see some other content for me, just as you all have. But hopefully this was beneficial and kind of explained what you should be doing with the wishes. Most people probably save them, see how much progress you make. If you're a completionist, go get your mementos and have fun. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like below, leave a comment if you got questions, thoughts, opinions, or otherwise, and if you do figure out if these give good or bad stats, let me know in the comments too, but don't waste them, just if you hear it or see it from somebody else. Other than that, thank you guys. If you're enjoying everything I'm doing, please hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell. The support's been great. If you are new to the channel, you can find me on Twitch or Twitter as well. But if you're new, subscribing, hit that alert bell, helps my stuff make it to you. Have a good one, everybody. Enjoy your afternoon, and I'll see you soon.